clearing wine from fruit with bentonite. Now, I've tried this in a bunch of different steps in a bunch of different ways, and this is what I'm currently doing that has got me the best success so far. I didn't reinvent the wheel here. I actually looked this up from a different winemaking study that was done by a winery, when the best practice is to clear wine using bentonite or when to add the bentonite for best results. And how I mix the bentonite, that's my own personal method. So here it is. Start out with a good quality grade of bentonite, whatever that happens to be for you. Your local winery, I'm sure, is going to be serving you up with some good quality bentonite. So start there. Now this is where most people, and myself included, hate mixing bentonite. Was just using a measuring cup or whatever and then stirring with a fork. Anyway, I'm not doing that anymore. This is what I'm currently doing. Take a mason jar, fill it about half full of water, and then throw that in the microwave for 2 minutes. Once that comes out, take your bentonite powder. I'm using 1 tablespoon of dry bentonite to filter out 5 gallons of wine. And slowly, very slowly sprinkle that bentonite into that mason jar. You want those kernels to just individually kind of fall in to start that rehydration process. Then screw on the lid and give it a good solid shake around. Then back that lid off so that you've got the air in there. You don't want this jar to seal when it cools off, because that's probably what it's going to do. Just back that lid off and let it kind of just rest on the top. Then leave it for an hour. At least an hour, actually. An hour, maybe an hour and a half might be ideal. Come back, pick that thing up, and don't do what I did here, which is forget to screw that lid back on before you shake, so I'll leave a mess on the counter. Instead, screw that lid on, make sure it's tight, make sure it's secure, and then give that a good solid shake. And just keep shaking. It's going to break that bentonite right apart, and it's going to put it all, or liquefy it, or however you want to say it. It's going to get it into the solution, and that's what you want. You'll see here that this solution is very well mixed. There is no solids, or very, very few solids left in the bentonite solution that we've just made. Now, my timing for this, when to add it, is right from primary into secondary. So as soon as I take and rack out of my primary fermenter into my secondary, that's when I'm adding the bentonite. I'll go till the carboy is, I don't know, 3/4, let's say, or a little more to the top. Once it's almost full, put a funnel on the top, add that bentonite solution in, give it a good swish if you need to make sure you get as much of that bentonite out as possible and into your wine solution. Once you've got it in there, get the backside of a stir stick and put that in there and give it a good solid stir to make sure that that bentonite is throughout the entire wine. You want all that sediment to get that negative ion contact, so it's going to go settle out. So give it a good stir. Once that's finished, top up that carboy, however much you want to top up that carboy. I probably went a little bit too full on this one, but whatever. Still learning, okay? Bear with me here. I'm new to this hobby. Once I've got the airlock sanitized, it's going to go into its resting closet. That's kind of where I have a dark place, and it stays about 68 or so degrees Fahrenheit in there, otherwise known as 20 degrees Celsius for us Canadians. So this is what the carboy looks like now, and this is right after. This is the next day. This is 1 day later, almost exactly 24 hours apart from when the initial was filmed. Fast forward here again for another 3 days. This is now, so it was racked and the bentonite went in on September 11th. The first shot you see there the next day was September 12th. This is now September the 15th. And look at how much clearing has happened already. I'm impressed. A lot of the sediment has already settled down. So this is like light years ahead of where I was. Now here's a little bonus tip for you. I've been told by everybody, just get wine off the lees as soon as you see an inch. Just get it off there immediately. Now, after doing more research, and this is not from forums online, this is actually from winemakers. The winemakers say, don't worry about lees in wine for 3 months. Just leave it alone. Best thing you can do for wine is be patient and leave it alone. This one, I didn't listen. I re-racked it right away because I was following the information from the forums, and there's so much stuff in there. Either way, I'll try this part going forward, just leaving it. Right now, this one got re-racked almost immediately because you can see there's quite a bit of sediment already on the bottom. That's how it would take this further. You can probably clear this wine 100% just doing this and just being patient, leaving it for 2 or 3 months or longer. Apparently, after 3 months time, some of that sediment's going to start leaching into the wine. So if you're going to leave it longer than 3 months in this process, re-rack it at that point in time, unless your intention is to get the flavor off of the lees, which if you're making a Chardonnay, apparently that's extremely important. But don't be concerned about it till then. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have a better way to use bentonite or other tips to show me, I don't pretend to know everything about winemaking. I'm brand new and I'm learning. Your comments and feedback are more than welcome. If you're new to the hobby with me, welcome as well. And let's make some good wine together.